YouTube TV. Watch.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crystal Talk. Bitcoin Brandon here from Los Angeles, California, the day after Christmas. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you are listening in from. My phone's been blowing up already this morning. First thing in the morning after Christmas. Everybody's ready to get back to work. Got Mafoos from Laurel, Maryland. Barbara Brown, Vallejo. Lashana, Richmond. Stan Williams, Tampa, Florida. Eldridge from LA. Wait. Louisiana. Where's that LA? Abdul Wild, Wanda Vasquez. Bethany Gibbs from Seattle. Abdul's from Philly. Emil Davis. Sharon Landry. Elijah Morgan, Hercules, California. Anita Hudson, Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, you visited LA for Christmas. I planned on yesterday, I wanted to do a Facebook Live from my swimming pool just to kind of make fun of everybody on Christmas. California weather, but it rained on us yesterday. I couldn't do it. Charles Phillips, Durham, North Carolina. Welcome, everybody. Again, Merry Christmas to those that have reached out to me. If I did not respond to you, do not take that personally. I have hundreds of messages I still have to go through. So I'll just say one big one. Thank you all for the Merry Christmas wishes and the Happy New Year's. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Good morning, Cleve Stewart. Rohan from Atlanta. Diana Townsend from Delaware. Diana, right after you called me, then I had Dr. Lewis. He always calls when I'm right doing my Facebook Live or a crypto talk. So I need to hit him back as well. He's probably going to ask some of the same questions. All right, let me get my Bluetooth set up. There are 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Make a decision, find a vehicle, take action, and remain focused. Do not get distracted. There are so many things out there that can distract you in this space. You have limited resources. Crypto is huge. Every single industry in crypto is going to be disrupted. And you can be a part of all of them if you're smart. But if you want to have great success, you're going to have to be able to learn the ability to say no to great opportunity. Unfortunately. Wisdom is in knowing which ones to say yes and which ones to say no and let pass you by. Not even Warren Buffett invests in every single Fortune 500 company. That doesn't mean that they're bad. And this morning, as I was waking up and checking on Facebook, I saw a post that caught my attention. And it was posted by Bouger. And I actually am going to do screen share. And I want to show this before I get started, because I always believe that mindset is everything. And this Sunday, I will be doing my once a year mindset call. I call it The Secret. Preparing for the new year. I do it once a year. You can go back on YouTube and see my last, 7 years I've done this, 6 years. And when people ask me all the time about how have you had success in this or in that, and they don't understand, it's not necessarily the skills that you've learned. No, once you've learned the skills, you're going to have success in anything that you do, but there's something much deeper than that. And it does come with mindset. And we're gonna go over that, because once I figured this out, I've had success in everything since, and I struggled for 10 years before. I knew all the skills before. I always wanted to be the best speaker, the best presenter, know the products better than anybody. Had no success till I figured it out. It's like a light bulb went off in my head. But here's what Bouger posted. I'm going to read it. This is my number 4, rule number 4. The lady in the picture, and I didn't post the picture. You can go to Bouger's page to see the picture. With Jack Ma is Tong Wen Hong. She joined Alibaba 16 years ago as a receptionist. When Jack Ma was allocating company shares, he gave Tong 0.2% shares, saying it will be worth $100 million when Alibaba goes public into the market later. He asked her to just stay in the company. Don't change to other companies. And she will get $100 million when Alibaba goes public. Tong waited for years after years, but Alibaba never went public. She asked Jack, when will Alibaba go public in 2004? And Jack said, soon. She asked again in 2006, and Jack said, soon again. However, she never saw it happen and never got the $100 million. When Alibaba finally went public in the New York Stock Exchange in September 2014, it was worth $245.7 billion. It was the biggest IPO in American history from a company that wasn't even an American company. Tong, the former senior receptionist, current vice president of Alibaba, became a millionaire from a receptionist with $320 million.
worth. Can you stay in a company for 14 years when the founder is still fighting tirelessly? Who are you to complain as a follower? They said to succeed, you must be down to earth, never be eager for quick benefits. If you're sure that there's water down the well, put all your effort and time at this location. We would rather dig a well with 10 years' time than to dig 10 pits in 1 year time. Stay hungry for victory. Good things come to those who wait, but better things come to those who work for it. The lesson in this is not that you stayed with one company for 14 years. That's not my point. And I know other leaders would read that and want to use it to show their members to stay with their company and their program. That's not the lesson here in this day and age. The lesson is that when you come up with a dream and a vision for something, and you are sure that there's water at the bottom of this well, you just got to dig for it, then you got to put all your effort into digging for it and know you may not get immediate results. Know that while you're digging in this well, somebody 10 feet from you, maybe not even working as hard as you, but might make a little bit more money than you, might find something that's working for them short term. You'll also find that same individual within 30 to 60 days on something else, on something else, on something else. Short-term wealth. You need to have the ability and the discipline to remain focused on your vision. Yes, I am at the top of my company, but it is not about KGX. KGX aligns with my vision, not the other way around. And the vision remains the same with or without KGX. I believe that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is going to disrupt the entire planet. I believe that we are at the beginning stages of this, that we haven't seen nothing yet. I believe that I'll become a Bitcoin billionaire. What vehicle that makes that happen can change. The vision of what I need to do to get there will never change. So as far as KGX is concerned, it is part of that vision. It is a necessary step. So we've been around for almost a year now with many people that haven't seen what they would like to see. Things not happening the way they want it to happen. We do have far more complainers than we do have people that actually are working and doing something to make it happen. But as far as I'm concerned, the water is right there. We have to dig for it. And the reward is going to be so freaking great for those that dug for it, as opposed to those that have been bouncing around over the past year, 15, 20 different things, trying to find their well. That's why rule number 4 is so important. Whatever it is that you're doing, crypto is so big that it could be any one of the vehicle that you choose, but you've got to dig the well. It ain't about this company's better than that company. Some of you will be able to dig multiple wells and remain focused. Most cannot. But you got to go through it. This will be continued on our Sunday training when I do the secret. All right, let's get into some crypto talk. I have been gone for I haven't done a crypto talk in 4 or 5 days. So we've got some catching up to do. And again, thank you to Bouger for posting that, because that really resonated with me when I saw that this morning. International news first. U.S.-China trade war sees no progress. Trouble for the Dow Jones. One thing, since I was with family and my father, we were talking about the economy and what's going on in the world, and he was asking about crypto and whatnot, and I had to remind him, crypto ain't the only thing that had a tough 2018. Every single asset did. Look at the stock market. So, what does this one have to say? And for those of you that's coming on late, I see there's Bouger. Bouger, have a safe flight back to Dallas tonight. See Court Gomes. Hope you guys had a great Christmas holiday with family. 2019 is going to be, in my opinion, our last chance year to set our foundation. That doesn't mean there's not going to be opportunity afterwards. It just means being able to stash up your resources before the storm comes. Because across all economic sectors, there is a storm coming. No matter what your political belief is, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. If you're a Republican, you really need to be paying attention, because the president is making moves right now that's going to guarantee a change. Whether good or bad is to remain to be seen. But one thing that's guaranteeing is a change by going after the Federal Reserve, which I support. But there's going to be a change. There's going to be consequences from that. Anyways, following the rest of Huawei, CFO Meng Wanzhou in Canada, the U.S. government has filed 2 criminal charges against Chinese nationals for allegedly stealing sensitive information from Western businesses, intensifying the trade war between the U.S. and China that may ultimately place more pressure on the falling Dow Jones. What? That didn't say falling crypto. That said falling Dow Jones. On December 21st, Adam Siegel, a cybersecurity expert at the Council of Foreign Relations, said that the Chinese government is unlikely to respond with an immense reaction, given that no sanctions were imposed against China or the Chinese nationals involved in the case. However, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has warned the U.S. that it may damage the relationship between the countries, which has significantly worsened throughout the past 6 months due to the ongoing trade war. Why should you pay attention? China owns the most debt of the United States. Earlier this year, we saw Russia dump the debt that they call securities that they owned. They dumped 85% of it and bought gold. The U.S. didn't blink because Russia doesn't own that much. Doesn't impact our economy. But China, if they decided to do it, that's a different story. And there is an ongoing trade war going on. Look at this. This is not the crypto chart. This is the stock market. In all areas, from car manufacturing to technology, the trade war is negatively affecting major conglomerates in both the U.S. and China. Again, your politics is irrelevant. I am only looking at results of our politics. So far, I don't know if this is a short-term strategy, a long-term strategy, how it will affect us long-term, but we're seeing how it's affecting us short-term. Currently, Tesla, the $54 billion electric car company, is selling its Model 3 in China at a lower cost than its initial value due to the tariffs the Chinese government placed on car imports. In July, Tesla China increased the price of the Model S and X by more than $20,000, affected by the 40% tariff the government tacked on to imported vehicles. Last week, the U.S. government and China agreed to lower the tariffs on cars, with no official figures released. On December 25th, the Chinese government suspended tariffs on vehicle imports for 3 months, from January 1st, 2019 to March 1st. Tesla China reduced the price of the Model S by 12 to 26%, and the price of the Model 3 was readjusted to $72,000, still in comparison to the $49,000 price tag in the U.S. The car is still 46% more expensive in China without any additional option. While both governments have eased the pressure on car manufacturers, many industries, including agriculture, are struggling to cope with the tariffs. For the first time since the beginning of the trade war, China did not import any soybeans from the U.S. in November. This week, in response to the increase in tariffs on seafood, Evergreen, a leading aquaculture and feed conglomerate in China, said that it is considering a suspension on exports to the U.S. for the foreseeable future. Liu Ji, sales manager for Guangdong Evergreen Group, said that the tariff on seafood increased from 10% to 25%. Buyers in the U.S. started to refrain from purchasing seafood products from China. He said, when the proposed tariffs were 10% in mid-August, at around the 12th or 13th, I was talking with customers about how we could manage it. 99% of them were on board, saying they could manage the tariff. But then suddenly Donald Trump said he'd increase the tariffs to 25%. Buyers said, if you can't ship product which arrives in the U.S. before the end of September, don't send it. Have a conversation with Cleve Stewart out of New York. He can let you know how the tariffs is affecting local businesses. Dow Jones suffers for this. If the trade war between the U.S. and China does not subside in the short term, it could continue to remain as a driving factor of the sell-off in U.S. markets, alongside the Federal Reserve's high interest rate. The Dow Jones is 300 points away from officially being in a bear market. Now, stop right there for a second. Did you guys realize that we have been in a bull run since 2008? The rich have gotten so much richer. The question is, has your bank account, has your personal economy, has your personal lives been in a bull run since 2008, or are some of you still trying to recover from 2008? So if they're saying life has been good since 2008, and you're looking at your own life and saying, where has that bull been taking place? What do you think life is going to be like when the stock market and the economy officially goes back into a bearish run? What's going to happen to you? Let's look at another article dealing with the stock market. Let's see, which one was it? Not just crypto and Bitcoin, every major asset class had a major fallback in 2018. As the older I get, it's like the years go by faster. So it seems like yesterday, I remember December 2017, everything was on a complete high. Around this time last year, crypto, I think, was still at 17,000, 16,000, something a coin. And then we blink and 2018 has passed us by already. And this is like, I stepped back and I just wanted the WTF on 2018. What the hell happened? Not just crypto and Bitcoin, every major asset class had a major fallback. The cryptocurrency market is not the only financial asset that has suffered losses and recorded a consistent decline as the year winds to an end. In fact, every major asset class for investment has recorded negative returns or an unchanged performance year. This is the conclusion of a CNBC report summarizing the performance of markets in 2018. Every single one. The chart asset quilt. So they made a quilt of total returns. Okay, I want to study this later. Looking at from 2008 to 2018, U.S. Treasuries in 2008, cash 2018, U.S. Treasuries 0.3% as opposed to 14%. Wow, it's the only thing that it was in the positive was cash and treasuries. They call that fool's gold. If cash is the only good performing asset, you know you're in trouble. Cash was at 2.1% in 2008. Gold was at 29.2% in 2010, but it's negative 3.7% 2018. Interesting. Commodities, S&P, global, According to the report, the activity dominating the close of the trading year is a series of shorts on stocks, corporate bonds, commodities, government debt, and practically every other asset class available in markets around the world. This comes a few weeks after Morgan Creek founder Anthony Pompliano pointed out that the S&P 500 lost $755 billion in a little over 4 hours of trading, as the general market rout shows no sign of stopping anytime soon. I had a talk with Jairus Coleman a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were having a heart-to-heart. And one thing that I was telling him is when you pull the microscope back a bit and you look at everything from a macro perspective, because most people can't do that. We tend to look at things from a micro aspect of our lives, because most people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're just trying to survive at the end of the month. I got to pay the bills, and we got Christmas, we got this and that. I got to do this. How am I going to pay this credit card off? How am I going to get the car fixed? Can I ask my boss for a raise? Can I do this? Can I do that? And a lot of it is micro, and people are hurting on a micro level. But when you pull it back, and when you're hurting like that, you're trying to look for solutions, and you're looking at what, especially for men, we, hopefully most men, not that I got a lot to complain to be, have no solution for their complaints. They don't have any. I never complain without having a solution for it. I hardly ever complain, period. Just results. But you're looking for, what can I do right now to change the current circumstances, to change what is happening in my life right now? And sometimes in life, there is no decision you can make that's going to change anything right now. You got to go through the storm. And when you pull the microscope back and you realize it's not just you, everybody and everything in every industry is also going through the same storm. We are on the same boat called Earth that's going through something right now. It's a stage. But like the moon or the sun sets, it also rises again. All you can do is weather the storm. It is not what happens to you that's important in life. It's how you react and respond to what happens to you. The worst thing people do is they make permanent decisions to a short-term problem that unfortunately they're not able to take back in the future when they realize the mistake. Wisdom is knowing how to do that and when. Because when you're in pain, it's not easy to stay in that. You want to make a change. You got to make something happen. This took me a long time to figure this out because I like to control stuff. Things are not happening the way I want. I had to realize there's some things that you cannot control. We can't control the federal government right now. We can't control the stock market. All we can do is weather the storm and be prepared for when the sun comes back out again. So according to the report, the activity dominating $755 billion in a little over 4 hours. The crypto market, people are flipping out when it loses 14, 15 billion. How would you like to lose 755 billion in 4 hours? 4 hours. Welcome, Tony from Sweden. Carl from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Can you fathom that? The S&P, did MSNBC come out and say the stock market's a scam? It's a fraud. It's a bubble. You're crazy for putting money in the stock market. It lost 755 billion in 4 hours. That is more money lost in a single day for public equity investors than all crypto investors combined for the entire year. Misery across the board. Cryptocurrencies have experienced a mostly negative year, recording a decline in trading volume, as well as price crashes, led by Bitcoin, which is down roughly 80% from its all-time high of December 2017. In total, between January and December, about $700 billion of market cap has been wiped off cryptocurrencies as investors brace for a so-called crypto winter in the absence of any optimistic predictions coming to fruition. It's like freaking Game of Thrones. Winter is not just a season, it's like decades in that world. But it's not all doom and gloom. That's right, me. Stock market is up over 300 points right now. It is not all doom and gloom. This is just a season. This is Wednesday, so if you hear any background noise from me, my gardener comes every Wednesday, so I might get loud. I apologize. This pain, however, is merely a relatively small part of the pain experienced by investors across practically every market in the USA. In October, CNN reported that Bank of America warned that 14 of 19 bear market signals had been triggered and the turbulence could last. While some investors believe that the prolonged equities bull run, which began in March 2009, would still prolong, many accepted that the longest bull run in American history was over. The latter group turned out to be right, with Market Watch reporting recently that the S&P 500 fell 2.1% to 2,412, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling 1.6% to 22,444. I remember when the Dow Jones was less than 10,000, and the world went crazy when it reached 10,000. When was that? Was that the 90s that happened? I think it was during the Clinton administration. Don't quote me on that. Speaking to CNBC, head of U.S. rate strategy at BMO, Ian Lingen, predicted that the downward movement will continue into 2019. In his words, all assets have underperformed in 2018 simply because the Fed accelerated the process of tightening monetary policy with a two-pronged approach of both hiking rates and reducing the balance sheet. We continue to expect the Fed will hike next year until they break something. The reversal in equities is not the magnitude that has historically led the Fed reverse their policy, so there's still room to go. And that is why you see Donald Trump going to war with the Fed. Last Monday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin spoke to the CEOs of J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup to discuss ways of calming the equity market rout and confirm presence of sufficient liquidity to aid recovery efforts through commercial and retail lending. This is what's so scary. If we've been in a bull market all this time and they're concerned calming the equity market, sufficient liquidity, aid recovery, those are not words you use during a bull market. What is it going to look like when we enter the inevitable bear market? In 2018, there were few winning options. The only notable winning options in 2018 were commodities like natural gas, wheat, cocoa, whatever, oats, palladium, and corn. Where will 2019 bring us? So what were the losing ones? Live cattle, canola, soybean, NASDAQ, 5-year note, 10-year note, gold, cotton, euro, orange juice, 30-year bonds. And basically your 401ks didn't do jack squat last year. Silver, all precious, everything was in the negative. All right. Like I said, it's not all doom and gloom. This is where education is key, and why, I flipped my focus a bit in December, getting back to learning how to and getting into trading. Because no matter what direction the market is going in, if you know how to trade, if you know how to make your money work for you in your own hands, you're going to still make a profit. I made 18% on my own money last week, not last month, last week. I have a strategy to average anywhere between 2 to 5% a day trading on my own. If you've got $10,000, $20,000, and you're doing 2 to 5% a day on your own, that's 5 figures a month. Hold on a second. I got my gardener right here. Just something to drink while he passes by. All right. So it's not all doom and gloom. People have made a killing in the market. The one thing is, when you got that skill set, it doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. All that matters is the volatility that you can earn on the swing trades, whether the market's going up or going down. I made 18% with the market going down. All right. Now for that one, let's get into some direct news. Now, I'm taking my time this morning. Like I said, it's been a while. And if you guys got to run, by all means, go ahead and do so. This is being recorded. $18 billion wiped out of crypto in 2 days. What's causing extreme volatility? Let's see here. Especially when you're in a situation where you earn Bitcoin, you don't buy it. You're good to go. 18 billion wiped out. Let's see. Following Christmas and a strong corrective rally on Christmas Eve, the market lost over $18 billion within a 48-hour period. Now, I have not the last 2 days. When was the last trade? I did a trade on Christmas Eve in the morning. I made a 2.6% profit when I could have. Well, here's what I did. Remember, if those of you who were on the KGX community only crypto talk I did last week, where I showed my trading that day, and I said there was a new strategy I was going to use. Sometimes you get into a point. No, I don't trade on BitMix. I trade on Poloniex. Sometimes you get to a point where you buy Bitcoin or whatever coin, and then the market drops by 6, 7, 10%. And you're left with a choice. You can hold and wait for it to come back up so that you're back at the even point, or you can sell for a loss to get back into trading. The strategy is learning when to do so. So there's a third option. Instead of selling the Bitcoin back into like Tether, what I decided to do was trade against other coins. So I looked at the market. I think I had bought the Bitcoin at 40.50. I had put my sell order in at 41.50, which would have got me 6-something%. But the market got up to 41.45. I lost it by $5, and then it dropped down back to the high 3,900, 4,000 range. So instead of sitting on it or selling for the loss and getting back into the game, because I did that another time and I made up my loss within 3 trades. This time I looked at the chart and I saw everything was in the green except Bitcoin ABC, which is Bitcoin Cash. It was like -9. So I said, okay. I sold all my Bitcoin and bought Bitcoin Cash ABC while it was at the negative, because my strategy was that I felt it was going to swing back to the positive eventually. And just to show you what I mean, see here Bitcoin ABC, it was -9. All the rest were green at that point. This was before, this early morning, like Christmas Eve. So I knew I was going offline. I put my sell order at a spot where I would have made 2.6%. And I said to myself, I wasn't going to be home. I was going to be on my phone. Brandon, make sure you look at the chart, because the moment I see this going to green, I might want to cancel my sell order and sit on it and let's see how high this thing will go. It was -9. I started celebrating Christmas and having some spiked eggnog and whatnot. Completely forgot about it. It did reverse. It went from -9 into the red. It went also -15. That's the last I looked at. I'm like, oh, good grief. I'm walking away from this month. I was pissed off. But then it reversed and went all the way +12. Here's what I mean. Let me go back on this 2-day chart. Now let's go back 24 hours to see if that shows. So here's what happened. Right? It dropped. Let me go 15 minutes. 24 hours, 2 days. December 26th, December 25th. See this drop right here? Boom. Right at the end of the 24th. I went in and got it at about here. It started to go up a bit. I was like, cool. And then it went bam to there. I was like, and I got off the computer and I didn't look at it again. But then, it started reversing itself percentage-wise. This is all today. But I did sell when I got my 2.6%, and I could have gotten a little bit more. See it back in here. But anyways, I used that strategy, and I still haven't recovered because of the entire market cap loss. All this. So instead of me losing about 17%, I'm just in around 6% negative, even with the market losing all of that. So that's just strategy and education, getting in the game. All right. Factors behind the wild volatility in crypto. Throughout the past week, investors in the cryptocurrency market have been generally positive on the short-term trend of Bitcoin. In fact, I know what I did wrong. I know this wasn't looking right. I forgot to hit BTC, BCH, ABC. Hold on one second. I want to do a correction. Well, it wasn't looking right for me. Let's go back 24-hour dip. There we go. This is what I mean. I had my automatic sell order. This is where I got pissed off. When it dropped, I walked away. I had my automatic order set in for about right here. If I was paying attention to the chart, I would have canceled it and let it run all the way up. And I would have recovered all losses from the market dropping and been in profit. And then kept going. But I got my profit. I got my 2.6% profit. That's all good. But I use that strategy. So what do I mean by that when I state that strategy? Well, I was looking at a loss on Bitcoin, USDC Bitcoin. I looked at all the other coins. And Bitcoin Cash was the worst performer at the time. So I said, all right, that's around the bottom. And I bought it. So the new strategy. And I will do another Facebook Live in our community group only. And talk about that strategy in more detail. I'll do that this afternoon or whenever I feel like it. Let's go back to factors behind wild volatility in crypto. Throughout the past week, investors in the crypto market have been generally positive on the short-term trend of Bitcoin. The dominant cryptocurrency strong recovery to the mid $4,000 region. And I was chatting with Lashana, and she was trading on the BTC. And I'll show you, Lashana, what I meant by, you hit the resistance wall at 4,200 and it didn't go higher. Well, at the time, we got the wall right now is around 40,000. Sorry, let me look at this here. Let me make sure I'm back on Bitcoin, USDT. So it's around the $4,200 range. But his wall's at 3,800. The buy wall is at about 3,600. So you're going to see the price bounce in between here a bit. And what happened to Lashana was it hit that wall, that resistance level at the around 4,200 mark, and came back down. again. So it's important to understand how to read this as well. You can kind of do your bets on. I like to follow it by, because there's a bot operating here. See right there, 50 Bitcoin buy order, 50 Bitcoin sell orders, normally $40 in between. So they've got a sell order at 37.43. That's where they think the bottom is. And they've got a buy order, or the top of the buy order is at 36.93. So here's the top, here's the bottom according to this bot. You can kind of work off of. I still think that's a manipulating bot. I don't know who controls that, because I never see it actually selling or buying anything. It's always constantly adjusting to the prices. Anyways, that's more private training. Continue here. Bitcoin found support near historical highs at $3,000. Earlier this week, I watched Bitcoin's volatility and sell volume stall the further its price fell, leading me to wonder if the fabled $3,000 support would be front ran. And it was. If bulls are able to push past 4,500 to 4,800 is the last bump in resistance, that stands in the way before 5,400. In other words, what he's saying there, if the crypto price, Bitcoin price, can get past $4,200, then you're going to see a run up all the way to the next support level. Right now it's 4,400. At the time of that writing, it was 4,500. And then it's going to be more resistance. So this is when you're going to see people are going to get huge profits, 15, 20% plus. If it runs all the way up to there, 30% maybe. Now, same on the reverse though. It's not going to go below right now 3,500, because when it gets that low, there's so many buy orders in to cover that price. So it's going to push it back up. So it's important to know how to read that. At this time, I am not anticipating a rally beyond 5,500, nor can I guarantee more relief even past 4,500, though we must not count out any scenario. So Bitcoin found support near historical highs at 33,000 earlier this week. I watched Bitcoin's volatility and sell volume stall the further its price fell, leading me to wonder if the fabled 3,000 support would be front ran, and it was. For the crypto market to initiate a proper bull rally and a midterm uptrend, it will have to undergo a several month-long consolidation and accumulation period during which the value of cryptocurrencies rise gradually against the US dollar. From August to November, for just over 3 months, the cryptocurrency market demonstrated a record low volatility rate, but it still was not enough to stabilize the market and establish a solid bottom. $3,120, the lowest point the Bitcoin price achieved in 2018, could be the bottom for the asset. Now, remember I showed you guys that new dude I'm following, Da Vinci? He believes that this thing is going to go into the 2000s range, that we're in what's called a dead cat bounce. So don't be shocked if you see it get to the 2000 and between $1,500 and $2,000 a coin. In fact, get excited, because that's the time to buy as much as you possibly can. Let's see, from August to November for the first 3 months, 3120. The bottom was most likely reached at 3120, but unless the market stabilizes and demonstrates gradual momentum, it is not possible to conclusively state that a proper bottom has been achieved. So when will the volatility stop? Until the cryptocurrency market shows a high level of stability in an extended time frame, the market will continue to demonstrate extreme volatility in a low price range. The volatility of crypto assets shown in the past week was unexpected because of the intensity of the movement on both the upside and downside. Let me tell you this too. Long term, you do want this to be no volatility, to be stable. And you need a whole lot of money in the volume. You need to be over $1 trillion at least, so that when somebody does something crazy, it doesn't affect the entire thing. There's enough liquid, enough money in there to support it. With it being so low now, I mean, you can blow the wind and the market's going to move. One or two individuals can move the entire market if they decide to move coins. But if you're a day trader and you're looking at how I make money instantly, micro, you want volatility. That's where money is being made. It's not being made because the market is going up. It's being made because of these little swings here. This can mean between 2 to 6% doing this. You're trading with $10,000. You can be doing $200, $300, $500 days. You're consistent with that. That's 5 figures a month on your own money, regardless of the price of Bitcoin, because you know how to make money off this volatility. All right, next article up. What's really happening at Siren Labs? This caught my eye. Why? Because we are actively working to be in partnership with Siren Labs to sell their product. I predict 2019 is going to be a year where the cell phone wars come back. Go back to the 90s. Remember the long distance wars back then, or even the 80s, the Bell wars of the 80s. You know, Pacific Bell was a huge giant and got chopped up. So you had the Bell wars of the 80s. You had the long distance wars of the 90s. You know, I remember a time where it was too expensive to call your girlfriend across the country. We had to write letters. One conversation took a week and a half because we couldn't afford long distance. You guys remember those days? And then you had companies like Excel and ACN come in to lower your price of long distance. And then in the 2010s, or late 2010, we had another war. It was called the cell phone wars. Which carriers were able to offer the best rates on cell phones and the smartphone age? That is where I have one of my greatest successes. I got my start from ACN, long distance. So my entire network marketing career started from the cell phone or something to do with that type of technology, picking up the phone and calling somebody. And it's about to happen again. Only this time, it is going to be bigger than anything that happened before. Blockchain technology is going to be a huge disruptor in a multi-trillion dollar smartphone industry. It is also going to be what's going to expose the most amount of people to cryptocurrencies. Because every single person on the planet's got a phone in their hand. If you look at the third world countries, their access to the internet did not come from because they finally got a desktop computer. It came for the first time through cell phones. See, the West went through computers and then cell phones. The rest of the world is skipping the computers and going straight to cell phones. Everybody. You go through Skid Row here in LA, all the homeless people, they all got cell phones. I got people that ask me for borrowed money all the freaking time. But they got an $800 phone, paying that phone bill every single month faithfully. Phone bill is the first thing you pay. It's almost like a status. Can you imagine somebody calling you and you can't answer because you didn't pay your phone bill? It's like you letting the world know you hurting. You make sure that phone. When was the last time you were ever in a situation where you didn't pay your cell phone bill? Anybody remember? Has that ever happened to you? Some of you, yeah, it happened. Yeah, it has. Didn't happen for long. This is one of the things I'm biggest excited about, 2019. One way or another. Right now, I'm already experimenting with a company called MCS. You can't be VARs anymore. But I'm experimenting with their technology, with their SIM card, how to have unlimited talk, text, and web, and no monthly fee for a freaking 6 to 9 years. Eliminate your cell phone bill. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. I got it. I'm testing it out. The month of January is going to be testing. Our goal is to bring a service like that within KGX directly or indirectly. One way or another, I'm selling it come February. Because this is something everybody needs to have. And you're not going to be able to escape because Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, as well as new companies like this one, Siren Labs, introducing blockchain phones, blockchain internet type stuff, phone calls. This is the future. Let me read this. What's really happening at Siren Labs? CCN spoke with Nimrod May to find out if Siren will continue making phones or focus on developing an OS. That's an operating system. May also gave a slide-by-slide comparison of the Siren Fini and the HTC Exodus One. Now, what's important is HTC, that's a name brand that everybody knows. They've been in the smartphone game, from the beginning, competing with Samsung. They're on the Android, and then you got to compete with the iPhone. So they came out with the Exodus One. Siren Labs launched its blockchain smartphone, the Fini, just a few weeks ago. In the middle of a cryptocurrency market crisis, Siren's plans hit the spotlight and led to the question if the $158 million ICO would abandon its plans to make cryptocurrency-friendly phones and concentrate instead on the Siren operating system. Recent reporting by some news outlets suggested that the fall in price of Ether since Siren's ICO meant the company now had less available capital and would struggle to meet its initial goals of becoming both a phone and OS maker. Okay, this is new news. That's since been clarified, and Siren Labs is committed to making its own blockchain smartphone and also exploring the market for its Siren OS with other phone makers. May hinted at some of the big name manufacturers Siren has been in talks with. Siren CEO Moshe Hogeg revealed recently that mobile phone distributors had committed to 160,000 units of the Fini phone. Mobile phone distributors. I need to have a conversation with Mr. Mike Boggs. Though this figure needs to translate into actual sales. Siren only has to sell around 80,000 phones to become profitable. We can sell that. CCN requested May, Chief Marketing Officer for Siren Labs, to get to the bottom of the company's plans once and for all. How are sales of the Fini phone going? What is Siren's attitude to crypto winter? And what steps are you taking to combat market concerns? Even with the current market situation, we're actually proud to share with the world some of the interest we have received since our launch 2 weeks ago. We're proud to say we have surpassed our Fini devices sale goal for the entire year in less than 10 days. And right now, are focusing on mass producing the first 10,000 units to meet the demands of our community, distributors, and partners. What's happening right now with Siren OS? Is it ready to roll out as a standalone OS? Do you have any takers? We at Siren Labs have strong faith in crypto and blockchain and are proud to provide the consumer-facing solution that will act as a gate to crypto. You see that? Isn't that what I said was going to happen with these cell phones? Crypto phones is going to be the gateway for people into crypto. When I was in Chicago, I did a test, and I had the lawyers in my ear all the way up until I got on the freaking stage to let me know what I can and cannot share. Literally up to the last minute, right before I walked on stage. Diana was with me right there. Jairus was with me. I got a call from Mike. And here's what I said to the audience, because it was a boot camp, so to speak. We're talking about and introducing people to blockchain and crypto that never knew about it before. Sometimes people get it. Other times, it's just an exposure. This is what the Bitcoin boot camps are. But then I wanted to test this out. And I said, how many of you have a cell phone? Raise your hand. Everybody raise their hand. What's the one thing that you hate about your cell phone? What do you mean hate? I love my cell phone. What do you hate about paying the freaking bills every month? Paying the bills. What if there was technology that allowed you to pay one time and you would never have a cell phone bill for the next 5 years? What if there was technology that allowed you to have all of your data encrypted and private so that there's no ads and stuff on it and tracking everything you're doing on your phone? Who would love to have access to that type of technology? Raise your hand. Every single hand in the room was raised. Do you get the picture here? As much as I love KGX education as a platform to expose everybody to crypto, with most people, they need to be able to see, touch, feel, and have an emotional attachment to something. And there's nothing much out there that you have more than an attachment than your phone, emotionally. We crack that code, it is game over. Anyways, that's what it said. It's a gateway to crypto. We expose everybody to crypto. You know who else is figuring it out, the code? Facebook. They're going to launch their own Facebook coin. 2 billion people access Facebook. They're all going to be exposed to crypto, whether they like it or not. Siren OS proprietary technology is the best operating system that is compatible with other devices as well. In efforts to bridge the gap across consumer electronic companies and to benefit the millions of crypto holders all over the world, we built Siren OS to fit all phone manufacturers. This is the company I want to invest in. Imagine, I'm sure iPhone, the Apple, they're going to come up with their own OS. But in the Android side, they could be like Dell or IBM, have their components in all computers. This company is going to be huge if they could pull this off. But they're not alone. Huawei, HTC, and other OEMs alike are moving along. Some of them have been in talks with us regarding Siren OS. Overall, it seems like this is just the beginning of our path. So it says, here's those days again. How many of you wish you would have been at Microsoft when it first got started? What about Apple after it had a 95% loss and it was declared dead and gone? Same with Amazon. Alibaba, like I read at the beginning, when Jack Ma told the secretary, just stick with me, you're going to be a multimillionaire. When everybody else was long and gone and jumping on every other thing because they thought nothing was happening. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with most people. Most people are always waiting for somebody else to do something for them. And if it's not moving in the direction they like, they're gone. You want to really know who's down with you and your vision in the future. Always look around when things seem to be at its lowest point. Look around. You learn something. Everybody's there when everything is great. That's not when you tell. We are a group of enthusiastic and highly skilled engineers who understand the market, are an active part of it, and know what needs to be done in order to serve the needs of the market in real time. As a result, we're now speeding up the process of accepting fiat in our token conversion service to create a more comprehensive solution for our users and to show the world that the need for a blockchain phone goes beyond what the crypto market is experiencing right now. Absolutely. What are Siren's plans for the next 6 to 12 months? And what are expectations for the crypto market in 2019? Our plan for 2019 is to focus on the delivery of Finney worldwide, fostering more partnerships. There you go. I like that. Continuing the development of Theron OS. Yeah, there you go. They're also competing with Pundi X. HTC has released the Exodus 1 at the same time as the Theron Finney. How do you believe the phones compare? Okay, here's a comparison. Exodus launched US, Canada, Finney's worldwide. Form factor, they're both touchscreen. Exodus has a bigger battery. Fast charging, Exodus proprietary, Finney's Qualcomm Quick Charge 4.0. I have no idea what the difference is. Wireless charging, no on both. Screen size, 6 inches. Touchscreen, yes for both. They're both all the same size, basically. Processor, octa-core. Processing make, RAM, everything. Internal storage, the same. Expandable storage, yes. Micro SD, yes, which means you could take the MCS SIM card and place it in both phones. Expandable storage up to 2 gigabytes. Camera, real camera, that's all the same about. Rear focus, the Finney has a laser autofocus, and it has rear flash. Operating system, both Android, Oreo. Let's see, connectivity, wireless, GPS, yes. Bluetooth, yes. Nano SIM. Oh, this is different. The wallet. Finney, the HTC One is software, whereas the Finney is a true cold storage. So the Finney wins out on that one. Let's see, blockchain features. The HTC has a Bitcoin, Ethereum, ERC20, 25 tokens, and ERC721. The Finney has Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and ERC721. So it looks like the HTC can hold more. The Finney has a dApp store. Token conversion. The Finney, you can actually convert your tokens. That's big. Features the IPS IDS. I don't know what that means. Harden OS. The HTC, no, because it's software. But the Finney, yes. Harden operating system. So CCN also attended the Finney's release party in Barcelona, Spain in late November and was able to spend some hands-on time with the Theron Finney. So in other words, the Finney wins out on the HTC. CCN was able to take a close look at the blockchain phone with its face screen and native cryptocurrency cold storage wallet, native cryptocurrency exchange, decentralized store, and Android-based Theron OS. The HTC Exodus 1 was demonstrated in early December at Slush 2018 in Helsinki, Finland. CCN is also talking to HTC's Phil Chin for his insight on the market, HTC's plans, and the performance of the Exodus 1 so far. So Finney's in the lead there. I'm glad I read this article. This information I needed to know. All right, in the last article, and then we'll go on with our day. You guys get back to eating and Christmas gifts and all that other stuff and toys with the kids. Crypto industry is betting big on the future of stablecoin. Now, this also caught my attention. I had to go through maybe like 30, 40-hour articles to see what I wanted to cover. I'm going to read many more by myself, but just to share out loud with you guys. Stablecoins, because as you noticed, there's been a whole lot of them hitting the market following Tether's success. When merchants started introducing Bitcoin and similar digital currencies as one of their payment methods, they quickly encountered a significant problem: price volatility. There were instances like a luxury item dealership, which used to accept Bitcoin for their products to saw the value. Their Ferrari cars jumped by almost 33% during a test run. The company, dubbed as the White Company, later joined the popular trend of launching a stablecoin, a hybrid of blockchain and fiat money which promised to protect its balance sheet from subtle influences. So what is stablecoin? Understand, stablecoin is not a crypto coin. You're not buying, oh, I'm going to buy me up a whole bunch of Tether and sit on it for 10 years. No. Rather than fluctuating on the whims of traders, speculation, a stablecoin is a new blockchain-enabled breed that is characteristically pegged to stable real-world assets, from commodities two currencies. For instance, users can purchase one stablecoin for $1 and can also redeem it later for the same price, thus eliminating the notorious crypto price swings. The stablecoin industry became popular in the wake of 2018's crypto crash. The depression saw the market's leading cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum losing 80 to 90% of their cap within a year. A majority of retail investors who were holding these volatile crypto assets decided to change them for stablecoins as a part of their risk management strategy. Yep, that's what we did. Once the volatility settled, traders were redeeming their stablecoins for digital currencies, as well as fiat currencies to exit the crypto market on minimized losses. Correct. Stablecoins are not exciting as speculative assets, mainly because their backers supply only the portion that they can back against a real world asset, stable asset. They are highly attractive tools when it comes to retaining the qualities of blockchain-enabled payment networks for, say, remittance and hedging. The institutional players have begun to realize the potential of stablecoins. As of November, the total investments made into the stablecoin space has touched $3 billion. Two of that is just with Tether itself. A crypto research group, it has led, or Stable Report says, it has led to the introduction of more than 120, I didn't know that, 120 stablecoin projects? I saw maybe up to 10. Winklevoss twins, for instance, launched a stablecoin for their Gemini Bitcoin exchange in September. Circle, a Goldman Sachs-backed crypto group, also partnered with the U.S. Bitcoin exchange Coinbase to launch a USD coin. Due diligence. Almost every new player in the stablecoin market is coming with their audit reports in hand, a record that verifies that the company intends to issue a stablecoin has sufficient assets to back them. Some coins have even introduced features that allow them to freeze or delete coins to tackle money laundering acts. Popular stablecoin project Tether, meanwhile, has garnered criticism for refusing to get its balance sheets audited by an independent party. It has enabled a whole new competition to flourish in response, which includes more modern stablecoin projects like TrueUSD, Paxos, and Maker, in addition to Gemini Dollar and USD coins. As the regulatory watch improves and companies begin to take due diligence seriously, 2019 could prove to be the year of stablecoins. Advocates believe that in the long term, almost all the traditional industries would want to integrate a stablecoin solution. Insurance lending, these are some of the categories that could start to grow into the trillions. Garrick Hallman, head of research at blockchain crypto wallet company, told. Social media giant Facebook has already announced that it would introduce a stablecoin to power P2P, peer-to-peer payments on its WhatsApp Messenger. That is huge right there, what Facebook is doing. And I knew there was up to something when they banned everything crypto. They were preparing themselves, eliminating the competition. So that's all that I'm going to share for this morning. Depending on news, I may come back for a late night crypto talk tonight. We are now coming on the end of the year. Those of you in KGX, I will do an afternoon or maybe in a couple hours, crypto private KGX talk about trading. I want to share a new strategy that I did that I had success with that saved me from the market losing 18 billion in a couple of hours. So I'm going to talk about that to the private KGX group. If you are not a member of KGX, you get back with whoever's showing you this video. $300 is the cost to get education that is priceless. We are going to explode in 2019. You want to get ahead of this right now, beforehand. So I hope you learned something new this morning. As always, that is the point. Thank you for listening, and please make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the YouTube channel. And I want to say one thing as far as Da Vinci is concerned. And Tony, yeah, send me the message when that broadcast is going to take place. But also be very careful from listening to guys like Da Vinci or even myself. You know, I'm not right 100% of the time. When it's come to crypto, I've been right about 80% of the time. And I lose from time to time. But when you have somebody like Da Vinci that has been correct, which is why everybody's fawning over him since 2011, what ends up happening is he can adversely end up affecting the market with his prediction. So under normal circumstances, his predictions or projections would be correct. But if the entire crypto space is going to react to what he has to say, then the opposite is going to happen. It's like listening to MSNBC. And if you do the opposite of what MSNBC says when it comes to crypto, you would be right 95% of the time. Why? Because all the sheep is listening to MSNBC and doing what they say. So you want to do the opposite of what the sheep do. That's going to end up happening to Da Vinci. You got all these guys, all these top YouTube influencers fawning over him right now, wanting to interview him, bring him in on the show, giving him massive exposure that he's not looking for. And if they all respond to what he says, it's going to impact the outcome. It's that old saying, whatever you study, you adversely, interrupt just by the fact of studying it. But I do find them fascinating, and I am going to listen. And this is where your own education and due diligence comes in. To do your own homework, not licensed financial advisors to be giving financial advice. Measuring sticks. Do your own homework, your own research. And the crypto world will be yours. So I am looking forward to this production this week. We have an update call with KGX on Friday. As soon as I know the time of that, we'll get that message out. We're going to be gearing up, getting ready for marketing. I still have not yet marketed one single time for KGX. Timing has to be right for that. We're gearing up for getting prepared for that. We've got 5 cities that we're going to be in for Bitcoin Boot Camp. Seattle at the end of January. A couple of weeks after that, Atlanta. And then Tampa. And then after that, Philadelphia and Chicago. And then we're going into our Vegas convention in April. And that's just the first half of this year. You know that old saying, if you build it, they will come. We are building it right now. Getting ready for it, getting prepared, like Jack Ma said. Soon. Well, when is soon? When am I getting my green wallet? Soon. Soon. People hate that word, soon. All right, you guys have a great day. I am available. People calling me today. I'll answer the phone. You guys take care. Maybe see you tonight. God bless. Bye-bye.